Defence and security analyst, Professor Michael Clark's in the studio with me now. So let's first talk about the significance of last night's attacks, the second in 48 hours.
Yeah, the Houthis fired another missile even after the big attack. They were actually aiming at what they thought was a British ship, but it turned out it was a Russian ship that was sanctions busting. It was actually one of the Russia's ghost ships, but the missile just fell short, didn't do any harm. But that was enough for the Americans to do a tit-for-tat strike, and so they struck in the outskirts of Sana'a, a radar station, which they said was just another target. It was a one-for-one hit. The USS Carney fired it, a Tomahawk cruise missile. This is the Carney. It's the hardest working ship in the task force. The Carney has brought down more drones and missiles than any other ship in the task force, so it's doing pretty well. So that was where we were last night, tit for tat, and I expect we'll see a bit more of that as the days go through.
Right, and sending a very clear message. Do we know anything more then, Michael, about Thursday's attack? What can you tell us?
Yeah, we do, actually. It's quite interesting. On Thursday, we know that these Americans, these are the F-18s from the Eisenhower carrier, and the F-18s were doing a lot of the jobs which British aircraft might otherwise have had to do. We said on Thursday, Friday, that a lot of aircraft will be in the air in order to get 4 British bombers over the target. Indeed, there were, but they were all American aircraft, more or less. And so the F-18s were acting as growlers, which is electronic jamming. They were acting as harm missiles, which are firing anti-radiation missiles against radar. They were acting as fighters to protect the bombers. And they were also firing from the Eisenhower, the Hawkeye, the E-2 Hawkeye, and that's the airborne warning system. So from the carrier, from the Eisenhower, they put up a whole defensive umbrella. And our bombers flew all the way down the Red Sea and put themselves under the umbrella. And so apart from the 2 tankers that we had, the 2 air-to-air refueling tankers, they refueled on the way there, refueled on the way back, they put themselves right under the American umbrella, which just shows the difference in scale of our militaries. All of this defensive umbrella was from one American aircraft carrier. Interesting pointer for the future.
Yeah, extraordinary. OK, well, let's talk about the future and where this is all going. Of course, behind this all is the politics. Where is this headed politically, and what do you believe the United States is trying to achieve?
Yeah, I mean, I think the US does have a coherent policy here. Whether or not it will work, we don't know. But I mean, the United States is not getting involved in the Yemeni civil war. Absolutely not. The US is not trying to destroy the Houthis. Absolutely not. The Houthis are what they are, and that war will go on according to its own logic or not, as the case may be. What the US and Britain are trying to do is to make it more difficult for the Houthis to use their facilities to launch attacks against ships, and then to actually persuade them that it's not worth it, to stop doing it. I mean, whatever else the Houthis do, stop doing this, because it's bad for the world economy, it's bad for trade, it's bad for your own people. 90% of the population of Yemen depend on food aid that is delivered by sea. So if they keep this up, their own people will be even more short of food. But of course, the other message is to Tehran, and it's to the Iranians. Say, stop helping the Houthis do this, stop encouraging them. I mean, we know that Tehran actually trains these Houthis in what they're doing at Ziba Qanar, and they take them to their academy at Ziba Qanar and train them to do this sort of thing. So the message to Iran, both privately, according to Joe Biden, and publicly, according to what's going on in the Red Sea, stop doing it. That's the policy. Whether or not it will work, we don't know.